Welcome to this WIFTI worldwide webinar. Today we are having guests from WIFT Israel, which I'm very happy for. And I need to share that I just got to know if you hear dogs barking in the background, it is because it's getting dark in the desert and one of our guests is in the desert in Israel. This is the second webinar this fall, and we will have another one from Australia next month. So please join our webinars. But today I'm very happy to give the word to Osnat Bukofzer, who actually started WIFT Israel not that long ago, which we are very happy for. Welcome, Osnat.
Thank you.
And you have your guest. It's Smadar Zamir, director, and the two of you will have a conversation, and we are so much looking forward to listen to you. So the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to WIFT generosity, because actually their generosity has opened the door to WIFT Israel. And I want to thank you, Elena and Regina and Nicole Ackerman from WIFT Germany, and Domizia De Rosa from WIFT Italy, and Iniel Well from WIFT Nigeria, and so many more women who truly share with me the deepest meaning of sisterhood. That is why WIFT Israel is here, and I am developing the meaning of it with my sisters in Israel. So one of my sisters is Smadar Zamir. She is the director of in the director chair sits a woman. It's a documentary film. It's an amazing film that really brings the situation of women director in Israel, but I'm also sure it's bring the situation of women director all over. So I'm sure you will be able to find yourself in our conversation. So Smadar, could you please tell us a little bit about the most recent film and just a few words about what is it about?
Yeah, thank you, Osnat, first of all, to initiate this webinar, and thank you for WIFT Worldwide and WIFT Israel. I hope that we will do many great things together. And I'm very happy to be here. My film, in the director's chair sits a woman, is bringing stories from 26 narrative film, long length, in Israel, women who directed long length film, and they're telling their experience of sitting in the director chair. Being in a very mainly place, and yeah.
And what procedures does the Israeli directors go through on the route to becoming a filmmaker, based on your research that you've done for the film?
Most of them finishing film schools. I mean, in Israel, people going to the university or to other film schools very late, comparing other places in the world, because we have here army service also for women. So they go in the 20s to study film, and then most of them very succeed with their final project film, and then they're starting to work on their first long length film. Usually it takes between 6 to 10 years. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, in the good case scenario, it takes 6 years. As you can tell, also the money for film in Israel is governmental money. So there is a huge amount of women who finish film schools, and a small amount of money to share between all the women and the men. So yeah, there is a big competition, and women many times stay behind, not just because all those organizations who share the money. Many of the reasons are internal, like women not going to competition.
Mm-hmm.
They're avoiding competition, many of them. Yeah.
So what do you think of the distinction between a man and a woman in terms of their ability to be filmmaker regarding to the research that you made for the film?
Wow, this is a huge question. First, I have to say that there is, as we were talking before the webinar start, Helen says that all women filmmakers all around the world have a lot in common, and it's true. So I guess that there is several issues that we're sharing, like raising money. It's more difficult if you're a woman. Be competitive. It's not that natural for many women. But the special things that happen here in Israel is that we are living in a place that most of the people, the standard is bringing 2 to 3 children in each family. And this is taking a lot of time. And sometimes it's not just bringing the baby, you know, because sometimes it just takes time to get pregnant. And you need to do all kind of treatments to get pregnant. There are a lot of issues with that. So what happened for many women, that they are finishing film school, and then they really succeed with their final project, and maybe they even have another short film, very successful. And then when they need to get the decision if they going to do a long length film, a narrative film, or having a family, this is a hard situation. And many of the women I interviewed to my film, and many of the women I didn't interview, but I interviewed that others did with them, pointed out of motherhood as one of the major reasons that distinct women from men and leave women behind. Yeah.
So first of all, I want to say that when you say many women, we're talking about 5 to 6, yes? No, this is the many women that you're talking about, yes?
Yeah, I'm talking about, we have like 60 women in Israel who directed narrative long length film.
From when?
I think
the
about
last 50
right now. The last 50 years, yeah, because
the last 50 years, okay.
Yeah, the first one was in 1969. You probably will ask about her soon. And during those 50 years, about between 60 to 70.
Yeah, wow. So when we're talking about many women, we're actually talking about not so many women, but those even if it's not only women, it's also other parts of the industry, like costume, but they have more of ability to build a family. If you are direction to the directing or producing, that means you don't have a day, that means you have to choose.
Or camera, if you want to.
Of course. The most
all the chiefs, yeah?
Yeah, all the chiefs, yeah, that's right. So what do you think, if I don't know, I really don't know if this is even a question that should be asked, but what do you think will help them, you know, to find a way or to build a strategy to stay in their direction and will to be a film director, and also, you know, not to get nervous and crazy about clocking?
I think it's a complex answer that I'll give you. First of all, we need role models. We need role models. You talked earlier about sisterhood. We need role models, not just staying up there, but being in network and help each other, like mentorship. It's very important. So we could ask each other and help each other. I think it's very important to women to see that other women did it. This is the first thing. The other thing is to allow an environment that help women to do a filmmaker career as a mother. Like I needed to ask my partner and 2 children to left the house so we can have this conversation. So we need the world to help women to combine those two. I have a dream like to have this. I'm looking for the word. When you can take a retreat for like 10 days riding, and you can bring your family with you to stay in a room, and you'll have a room for riding or space that you can ride, and also you can bring your family with if you have if you're breastfeeding or if you just have little boys or girls, little children. This another thing. So you have to there is a very beautiful thing that a feminist says a long time ago. They said that you don't need women to go to the public life. It's not enough that women will go to the public life. We also need public life to come to our houses, and just
yeah. Of course, I completely understand this, and I also understand that the fact that it will be like a regular situation that you are directing, pregnant, and bring your baby to the set, somebody's taking care of it. It's being part of the whole situation will make it easier for next generation as you can do it. It's just something that you have to be aware that this for a while will be, or for 30 days will be your life, because it's not like 10 years, it's just 40 to for shooting, and maybe pre and post will take your time, but it's not the
Michal Aviad, when she shoot her last film,
Working
Woman, her actress was breastfeeding. Not just she waited for her to get labored and she brought the baby to the set with her mother, actually. There wasn't someone from the set, there was a mother that stayed with the baby, and she was breastfeeding between cuts. It's just an amazing, and she brought up pictures to Facebook, and it was his story and his story as well. It was
wow, that's amazing.
I
want to move to another subject that I think it's very, very, I even didn't know that women have this, that this issue have an effect on women director, but I learned a lot from your film, and one of the things that I learned is the reference of money that we are, as women are receiving from funds, from I don't know, from who is financing the film, and we are. It seems like a sense of a shame, or a way to feel bad that we are getting so much money, and what will happen if we will waste it, if we will do it, work with it in the wrong way. And a lot of women in the film were referring to this situation. I never heard a man talking about the fact that he got money from governments or from private investor, and he thinks maybe he will do something wrong. But there is a feeling that they really ashamed of the fact that somebody is giving the money, and they really need to bring back the best results, etc., etc. So why do you think that women feel they don't deserve the money?
Well, when we're looking at other areas like high tech, we see the same problem. We see that women earn a huge amount of money, even though in Israel it's not such a huge amount. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have very small, but it depends. So women are not. Many of us not feeling so natural to deal with a lot of money and to hold a lot of money, and I think it's have many reasons. One of them is that we are not learning how to use money. We're not being taught that we deserve to earn a lot of money. Even now in 2021, it's still very, very common that the man, if there are two men and a woman in a relationship, it's still common that he will earn more than her, and also that he will be taller and older and etc. So we kind of been taught since we are little child that money is nothing, that it's nothing that we should deal with. You know, it's nothing that it's not an issue that we need to learn. And so I think that this is also kind of the competitive issue. Like if you're looking at the tables and you see how funds are sharing money for women and men, you see that many of them will give bigger amount of money to men. And I don't think that someone do it, you know, in purpose or in any kind of misogynic intent, but it's just happening because, so it's both ways. Also, we are as a society just not putting women and money together. It's just not there, there's not matching, you know, there's no match there. So
so do you think that that mean the funds, the I don't know, universities where we are studying as women to be a filmmaker, they should also bring some, I don't know, educational tools for women to deal with the fact that as kids or living in a patriarchal environment as we are living in Israel, money belongs to everyone and we can use it like everybody else.
And we have to empower women and let them know that they deserve money and how to do negotiation about money. It's very hard on us. It's not natural. And we need to study it, you know, we just need to study it.
Yeah, so this is something that could be studied and it should be part of education, film educational.
From any education, any education, I think, because I think that any women who doing career is just has this, you know, as challenge, the same this challenge. I mean, for sure in high tech, but not only in high tech, everywhere, women not easily asking for raise, not easily negotiate about money. I know it for myself. I know it for my friends. It's all over. It's just it's very depressing, but we have to change it.
Smadar, are you okay? You're stuck.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Now it's okay.
Okay.
This brings me to another subject that we as a women, as a director, as a creator, as female, has to deal with is journalists when we have we finish our film or anything that we're doing in the film industry. And what do you think, how women should refer to journalists' inquiries to focus on their work and not on their gender and all those questions that is really not relevant to their creation?
Well, I think it is relevant to the creation, actually. One of the women I interviewed, Michal Vinik, just told me on camera, and it's on the film, she told me that if someone else would have done this film, she and many of her friends won't come to interview, because they are so tired of talking about being a woman filmmaker. So I understand this standpoint, but also it is an issue, because if we have in the Film Academy Awards last year in Israel, we have only 2 long-length narrative film made by women, it's still an issue. As long as we have to calculate the numbers and we're just picking, you know, so it's still an issue, and you have to talk about it. I think this is the thing that you need to do if you want to be to bring solidarity. I think that you obligate to do it. This is what I think, but also it doesn't have to be on behalf of talking about aesthetics, etc. So you can just say, you know, to refer to that, and then ask the journalist to talk about other things as well. And if you need, just give him question. You can help him if he, or her. I don't think that this should be the major issue, but I think that you have to, as a filmmaker, you have to refer to it, as long as this is the situation. I hope that if we have like 50% women filmmaker in every area, it won't be an issue, and then we won't need to refer to that. Yeah, but
yeah. Oh, the dog starts again. They see a fox.
Probably there is a fox.
Yeah.
Out there or something.
Are you in the Negev? Where do you live?
Yeah, I live in Arad. It's next to the Dead Sea.
Okay.
Yeah, so we live here in the middle of the desert.
Okay.
And this is the barking time, so I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's such amazing for me that people decided to live outside of Tel Aviv. So because for me to go outside of Tel Aviv, and that means not outside to another city, just I have border in Tel Aviv that said this is Tel Aviv, and the other step is not Tel Aviv, although it's still Tel Aviv. So
well, Tel Aviv is wonderful. I can't blame you.
Yeah, so I really cannot understand it. I'm always, when I'm traveling, I'm looking at people around other cities and said, why are they living here? Tel Aviv, please. So I want to talk about something that is I maybe it's unique only for Israel, maybe it's all over the world, and this is sisterhood. Because you make this film with so many directors since 50 years ago and now. And what do you think, what do you consider to be a female film fraternity? Is there such a thing in
Israel? There are relationships between women in the industry. There are friendships and there are groups of friends. But I have to say that because this is like Lonely Wolves. Lonely Wolves. Wow. Job, it's not a job, actually, it's a state, it is to along situation that you need to carry on like 6-8 years sometimes working on your film, all over this roller coaster of loving your film, hating your film, believe in it, don't believe in it. You know, you have so many struggles until you complete the film. So I think that this thing is many times not leave you a lot of time, a free time to be there for others, you know, technically. I can, this is something that I recognize. It's not from, you know, a bad intention or something. It's just, it's a surviving mode many times, not always. But when you're in survival mode, you're not always available to help to others, to be there for others. You know, you just need to bring your food to the table. You need to complete your film. You want to fulfill this dream and bring your story to the big screen, you know. So sometimes I think it's just too much. Just this is an extra effort that many women and other and men as well not just cannot afford to themselves, you know.
Yeah, it's pity, and I have to say that when I was I don't know, studying, looking at the situation and research all those elements that really bring women to a situation of being in survivor mood. One of the things that I learned that boys, when they're very young, they put them in a football team, basketball team. They teach them how to work in a group. Women are going, if they gave them the dolls and said, now play with the dolls. So maybe it's something that we can change for next generation if we will teach also women to work in groups, because when you are being part of a community, even if it's a football team or a basketball team, that give you the technique how to work with others, how to pay attention, because it's only education.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, that's why it's also something that mentorship can resolve, and also role modeling can resolve, because it's not only the physical group, it's also the spiritual group. I mean, when you see other women film, and when you meet women filmmakers from all around the world, you have an example. You can find yourself, yeah, as you talked earlier, you can find yourself there. And if you can find yourself there, it's becoming possible. Yeah? There is this phrase that says you can't be what you can't see. Yeah, so you can be what you can see, and this is very also important for us, so we can be in a state of mind that we can work together. There is a lot of us. We can do it. There is a place for all of us. One of the women I interviewed, Talia Lavi, who made the film Zero Motivation, was a big hit. And she told me that while working on her film for years, she didn't know what she was waiting for, respond an answer from the funds, and she was getting mad already, and she thought she knew that there is another woman at the same time,
Yeah,
gave her film for consideration, and she knew that it would be her or either her, just one of them, because she said there is only one woman who can get fun in every I don't know, in every date. And she was right. Yeah, she was the one to get. And she was like, and she's saying, but we are telling such a different stories. So why it should be one upon the other? Why? And it shouldn't. And it shouldn't. And if you see that there is a lot of women, you will get to believe easily that there is a place for you as well. It's not just there is a Leni Rief Chantal.
Yeah.
Agnes Varda, Chantal Ackerman in the good case, yes? When you can, if you're finishing a film school and you don't know any women filmmakers, so you won't believe it's possible for you, and you become very you're just getting into yourself and becoming very in this mood that you're the only one who can do it. This is you against the world, and it shouldn't be you against the world. You should know that there is a place for everyone. There is a place for you.
Yeah, and this is the community is the community as I call it sisterhood or motherhood, or the acceptance of other women as they are, not as being a competitive, but just to hold, to hug, and to say, yes, this is a situation, and it will take time, but slowly we will make the difference, because we're making difference. It's making time. So I really, one of the things that I really look for when I decided that I didn't decide it actually, Helena and other with just talking with me about it, and suddenly I was saying, okay, we don't have it, we should have it. And this is the purpose of WIFT, bringing women from all over the world together to understand that we are not alone. And this is one of the things that I really want WIFT Israel to be for all of us. I'm not a director, but I'm working in the film industry, Israeli film industry, for 40 years. So what do you think the three things that the Israeli, the Forum of Producers and Director of Women, of course, the Women Forum, needs three things. That's it. It needs to start and become.
Wow. I think the first thing is we have the support in filmmaking here in Israel. It's, as I said, governmental. So I think the first thing is to have it on law that you have to support 50% of the support will go to women. This is first thing.
Yeah, but this is, I want to stop you because I understand what funds and governmental institutes should do. I'm talking about ourselves, because what is depend on us as leading a group of women, and I'm not talking about the veterans that are already done films and they have their way. Talking of the young generation that really don't know what to do.
You need to teach women films. You need to teach not just film made by women, not just films made by women, but also women in other area. You need to teach all the involvement of women in the film industry since ever, and that every women student, film student, will know these women, and she will have this, all this background with her. She will know that there is roots for her This is one of the things that I can think of. Also, I think that there should be a mentorship. Since you're finishing film school and until you just becoming a mentor yourself, I think it's very important, this mentorship. Someone you can grab a phone and ask question. It's very, very important in the Israeli industry because it's a very small industry and everyone knows everyone, and people bringing each other's to all kind of projects. And so you need this connection. You need someone from the inside to believe in you and go with you along the way. And this is the second thing I can think of. And the third thing I can think of is bringing to out of the film industry and out of the film school, bringing our films. I mean, to all kind of cinema hall and all kind of universities, not in the film school. I mean, just bring a film made by women everywhere and make it something that we should talk about. What happened when women make film? What happened when men make film? What's the difference? Just to have it as a discussion that everyone know. As we have the discussion now about how women looked, the representation. So let's start to talk about who is behind the camera. This is the new discussion that has to be like the, so.
Okay. I have one more question. It's really a very strange question, so I don't know if you will have the answer for it, but I'm thinking about it a lot. And as you are a filmmaker and working, and your last film was you interviewed a lot of women. Why do you think that men are writing female character, giving female gaze, and where it's come from? Why is it choose to make the film on the women gaze and not on their own masculine experience?
Wow.
Because this is not giving us also a place, when they're doing film about us. So what do you think is?
I think the problem is not that when men make a film that its protagonist is the women. It's not the problem. It's not there. The problem is that there are not enough women to make film. So I mean, if we have like, again, I'm getting back to the numbers. If we get like 50% of the film made by women and 50% made by men, it's okay. You can deal with it with any agenda you want to, yeah. But as long as we have like 80% in the good case, 85%, 75%, I don't see I don't see how it help us. This is what I'm saying. This is a very it could be very dangerous when you always looking at the representation question. It's not enough that we are seeing women on the screen. We need women behind the camera. 50%. It's not enough that we will have 50% of protagonists in film. No, we need to have 50% of, because we women can do also films about men with men protagonists. It's okay, but I couldn't care less what you do your film about, as long as you share, as long as 50% of the perspective will be shared between men and women.
Yeah, but don't you think that if since, I don't know, since ever, men is doing film about women,
Yeah.
let's say, okay, not most of the film, but a lot of film is about the female gaze, and they're bringing the female gaze as it's their own. They are men. Why shouldn't they? I don't know. Deal with their own stuff.
As a Bechdel test. So Bechdel tests
Yes.
show you that most of the men will bring a man protagonist. So those who not bringing a man, those who, I think they know that there is, all the politically correct culture, all this, representation issues. So, and many times when you're looking at women in men films, it's look like this is a man talking as a woman, yeah. So it not always, but many times, because we mostly can tell our stories the best way. It doesn't matter if we're men or women, each one of us telling their own stories. It's like I'm saying to my students all the time, when I'm coming back from work, I can tell only about my day at work. I can't tell about my husband's day at work. Yeah. So this is the same. So I think that you can tell whatever, if this story is your mother's story as a man, it's okay, but it shouldn't be on behalf a woman's story about her mother. I'm sure that you will see different stories. Totally.
Yeah, I agree. Regina, do you want to join and ask the question, because we can talk until the end of the day. And
super. Hello everybody. Yeah, we have a few audience questions, and one is there one overall thing, Smadar, that you've learned by making this film? Maybe something that was unexpected to you, that you hadn't expected to learn, or that was just new for you?
Wow, yes. Great question. Actually, the thing that I learned took me to the film that I'm working on now. What I learned from the first female director in Israel, the first woman who completed a narrative feature film, Elida Gera, I learned that Yom Kippur War in Israel took her from us. Her husband has, wow, I don't know the word in English. איך אנחנו אומרות הלם קרב? יש לי פתאום...
PTSD.
PTSD?
After the war.
After the war, her husband has a PTSD, sorry. And they broke up, and she had to leave the directing. She was very, very successful. If you looking at the days that she working at, she made a short film, long length film, narrative, and then 5 documentaries in like 10 years. This is an amazing accomplishment, and yet she had to leave the film industry because she needed to take care of her children, and I was very moved to see that we lost her. We lost her a great I feel that if she would have continued to make films, it could be wonderful, because she was so talented. So we lost her talent, and this was very moved to me, to find out.
Do you think that the fact that Lida decided, I don't know, she decided to take care of her husband? This is why
No, they broke up.
Oh, and so, and because they broke up, she stopped being a director?
Yeah, she needed to to focus on jobs that bring more money, as we know.
Okay, so it's the same
Film is not-
situation. It's the same situation for, let's say, for single mother.
Yeah,
For 50 years, nothing's changed
yeah,
in our
Yeah.
world. Oh, this is so
Yeah.
sad.
yeah. And the saddest thing that she was so talented. Wow, she was just so amazing, and we just lost her. Yeah. And also we forgot her. This is the worst.
No, nobody knows about her. What was your reaction when you found out that there was a woman that makes so many films 50 years ago, and we didn't study as students of cinema, we didn't study even one film of her or mentioned her name?
Yeah, I find it out about Elida just when I started to work on my film, because just then in 2012, it was when Israel Ashar Meoded, a filmmaker and scholar, find her. People thought that, people didn't know that Elida is a woman. They thought it's a man. And not just that, but people said to Israela that she's dead. She was totally alive. And Israela found her and took the film from her and renovated it. And she did a great screening, very, very beautiful. And Elida was so happy. And then I continue to learn her and study about her, and her family is just so dear to me. I love them so much. They gave me everything, just opened their heart and their house and brought me all those beautiful archive materials. And yeah,
it's a sad story. Yeah, it's
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Sorry that I interrupted, Regina. I'm quiet.
No, it's fine. It's completely fine. We have one more question, and that is, if you should give an advice to your younger self as a filmmaker, what would that be?
Wow. Carry on. Carry on. You can do it. That's it. Just carry on. It's a very lonely, long way. Carry on. I think the best thing that happened to me, that I married the right person and I married the right team. I had very good choices. The people surrounded me, also my partner in my private life, my husband, and also my editor, Noy Barak, my producers, Elad Peleg and Chagai Arad from Daroma Production, the photographer, Adi Moses and Rana Viad. All those people gave me a lot of strength along the way. Lili Udinsky, the visual researcher, Eitan Moore, who did all the effects, the special effects. I think that you should choose carefully the people you're working with.
And I have to add that when you know what you want to do, that means that when you know that you are going to be a film director or a film producer or a photographer, or then when you aim to this, then when you're choosing your partners, private partners or working partners, you will choose the right one. Yes, I agree. Because first of all, you are you are not on the back, you are in the front. You are in the focus, you are in the close-up. And that means that you will choose things that will suit your ambition, your thoughts, your wishes. And this is why you choose the right partners and the right team, because you know exactly.
Very interesting what you're saying, because it took me a long time to believe that I can be a filmmaker. I ran out of it. as you know, I ran out of it. I was so afraid to find out that this is what I want to do in my life. It took me a lot of years. I really want to do an academic career. I didn't want to make films. I knew it's very, very hard and I didn't want to do it, but finally I did. Yeah, so.
You stuck again.
Again? Now?
No, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's mean that every time you're feeling disappearing to yourself, you need to focus yourself together, and then you are, and to say, this is what I want to do. And I don't want even to start, because it's very late, I don't even want to start with patriarchal genes in ourselves that make us believe that we are. So we will not talk about it this time. So Regina, again, back to you.
It sounds quite easy, the way you say it, like that you found the right people, and you can surround yourself with the right people. Was it that easy, or do you have any strategic steps to find these right people, or is it just synchronicity, how you come across these people?
Wow. Was it easy? The first thing is, it wasn't easy for me to meet myself and to do this commitment of being a filmmaker. This was the hardest one. And then it wasn't, I can't talk about it in manners of easy or not easy. It was just a miracle for me. So a miracle, it's not an easy thing, yeah? But it was easy because it just happened, and it just fulfilled me with so much gratefulness. And the people I talked about, that I gave their names, they're going all the way with me now to the next project and the next project. They are my creative family, and I'm going all the way with them. I'm a very monogamic person. I really love to stuck to the same people, and so I hope that this is a good question. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't not easy. It's just a miracle to me that I have those beautiful people around me, and my partner, the first one, it's so supportive, and it's very important to have the support from the house when you're doing this career. Sasha Goichman, sweetheart, my husband.
I think we are at the end of our hours together, and it was like really a great pleasure, first of all, and I want to thank you a lot for sharing in such honesty to my very let's say private question that I put in front of you, and let's make films together.
Yeah. Thank you, Osnat. Thank you so much. Thank you, Helen, Regina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Osnat and Smadar. And actually, I need to sum up with you, because I love this, that you talk about the miracles, and at the same time you talk about the hard work. And in a way, when you say it, it sounds like the same thing, but it's, you can't control miracle. You can, in a way, control hard work. And I think this, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
What's your relation to control?
Well, filmmakers.
They are control
especially freaks, directors.
Yeah.
It's a huge issue, especially here in Israel. I think that control, it's more than in other places, because this is a war place, yeah?
Yeah.
So there is a lot of anxious in here, and a lot of insecure that you feel, and also if you have, like, such as me, that I have my Holocaust survivors in my
Roots.
yes. So a lot of, so controlling, it's an issue. You know, you want to be I'm very controlling person. But from the other hand, because this is so tough and rough, you have to let it go, because otherwise you get crazy. So I think this is the relationship I have with controlling. I have to work with it. I can recognize that I'm a very controlling person, but I have to let it go. And as long as as I getting older, I feel that I can let go more and more and more.
But it's beautiful that you end up, because you actually answered exactly what I felt, but I didn't have the word for it. And I think it was also the meeting. I know Osnat from before, I don't know you. So when I heard it was this something in between control and spirituality. There was something in the gap in between, and also what happened in between the two of you that I think was so beautiful. And of course, also that you love bomb WIFT so much, and the sisterhood and the global voice we are creating together, which is very beautiful. And I'm so grateful for what you shared with us today. And I'm so happy that it has been recorded and it can be available for a long time in the future. So thank you very much. And I hope we will meet in real life soon. Thank you. Before I leave, I also would like to share, and this is the first time I share it in public, that we are planning for the next WIFTI Summit. And Summit is when WIFT members from all over the world meet. And I'm very happy to pre-announce, because it's not announced yet, that we are planning to do this in Nigeria in August next year. Yes.
Wow.
It's very cool, because Nollywood is the second biggest industry in the world. So it's really a mecca for filmmaking. And I'm looking so much fun. I will go there together with our treasurer and the president of WIFT Germany, Nicole Ackerman. We will do a pre-troop and go there in early December to together with WIFT Africa to start to prepare. Yes, it's cool, isn't it? And we are very proud and happy for our African sisters who has started to prepare this for us. So now I have whispered, and it's a little Christmas gift, this sharing, and give you a lot of love. Thanks you very much.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
See you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Thank you, Regina. Bye.
Thank you, Regina. Bye.